Let me guess. You're here because this was you just a few minutes ago.
Please stop taking all of our loot. I'm getting off. Fuck you, man.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Quasi here with a new series starting on my channel called The Ultimate Rust Noob. This series will be a not so serious guide, meaning that I try to be funny, you cringe, but you still leave with some good information. We will delve into everything there is to know about Rust, covering everything from the major systems and components to the little hidden tips and tricks that the veteran players know. There will be a lot of videos in this series, and I mean a lot, to truly capture the entire scope of Rust. In this first video here, we will be covering Tier 1 weapons. For the purpose of these videos, we're going to be talking about the weapons that you have as default blueprints, such as the bow, and the Tier 1 guns, such as the Revolver. I won't be going in depth with melee weapons or ammo, as those will be covered in another video once we get a little bit closer to rating. Starting off with a naked's best friend, the hunting bow. You know it. Even if you're new to Rust, you know the hunting bow, you've seen it. It is honestly the weapon that I have in my inventory the most. Even when I reach tier 2 weapons, I still carry it on me, just because you can kill animals and lower geared players silently. The bow can be found in underwater lab toolboxes, and sunken crates with a 5% chance of spawning. The bow is a craftable item and a default blueprint. It does not need a workbench or to be researched. It can be crafted with 200 wood and 50 cloth. It can also be recycled with a yield of 100 wood and 25 cloth. Deals a maximum damage to the body with 50, and has a headshot multiplier of 1.5, resulting in a 75 headshot damage. The bow has a rate of fire of 60 rounds per minute, meaning you can get one arrow off every second. It has an aim cone of 1 degree and a reload and draw time of 1 second. The bow, however, does have some negatives. Due to the low velocity of the arrow, and really this goes for all the bows, it has a substantial drop at range, meaning you have to kind of aim above your targets at range if you want a chance at hitting them. In addition, the low velocity causes it to where you have to lead targets more, so you have to kind of aim ahead of them when they're running. We'll cover leading in a later video down the line when we start talking about combat. Overall, it is a fantastic primitive weapon for short to medium range combat. Even when you get up to tier 2, I always carry it on me. Next early stage gun we have is the Crossbow. Another arrow shooting weapon. I know, I'm sorry. You want the bang 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 and the boom boom boom. Well, I'm here to tell you, if you're new, the only thing you're going to be doing is banging your head into a wall. The crossbow is a step up from the hunting bow. Due to the long reload time, though, I find that the crossbow is best used when paired with another weapon, such as a waterpipe or a nailgun. It has a 2% chance to spawn in toolboxes, elite crates, on heavy scientists, and in sunken crates. It is a craftable item, and it is a default blueprint. It does not need to be researched, but you do need to be at a level 1 workbench to craft it. It can be crafted with 200 wood, 75 metal fragments, and 2 rope. It recycles into 100 wood and 38 metal fragments with 1 rope. Deals a maximum body damage of 60, and with a 1.5 headshot multiplier, resulting in a damage to the head of 90. It has a rate of fire of 17 rounds per minute, which is why I choose not to roam crossbow only. Has an aim cone of 1 degree, a reload time of 3.6 seconds, and a draw time of 1.6 seconds. In addition, the crossbow is the first weapon on our list that allows attachments. You can attach a 16 times scope, an 8 times scope, a hollow sight, a handmade sight, a laser, and a flashlight. It deals higher damage and provides a higher velocity than the bow, resulting in slightly less drop over distance. The crossbow is held back by its painfully slow reload time and its higher cost to craft, making it a great sidekick along another weapon. Me personally, I honestly would not roam crossbow only. I would either roam dual crossy or hunting bow only if you do not have another weapon. The last, but certainly not least, arrow weapon is the compound bow, or as I like to call, the primitive sniper. The compound bow has a unique feature that allows it to be shot at further range than the crossbow or the hunting bow. The compound bow can be pulled back farther, so to speak, so when you're standing still aiming at a target, you'll notice a little progress bar of you pulling the string back more, and once it reaches the full progress, that's when you get the maximum distance and damage. Can also be fired without pulling the string back. It deals the same amount of damage as a hunting bow if you decide not to pull it back. The use cases, for me personally, are very limited. As a primitive player, I don't find myself needing the extra distance that the compound bow offers, unless I started to wipe late and some players already have ranged weapons. The compound bow deals high damage, but due to the time it takes to pull the string all the way back, is almost useless to me in close quarter engagements. There are a lot of places that the compound bow can be found, so I will display a list on screen. The compound bow is not a default blueprint. The compound bow can be researched at a research table for 75 scrap or through the level 1 workbench tech tree for a total of 245 scrap. The compound bow requires 100 wood, 75 metal fragments, and 2 ropes to craft. It will recycle into 50 wood, 38 metal fragments, and 1 rope. It can deal between 50 to 100 damage to the body, and with a 1.5 times multiplier for headshots, it results in damage between 75 to 150 for the head. It has a fire rate of 50 to 60 rounds per minute, an aim cone of 0.2 degrees, and a 1 second reload and draw time. The compound bow does not support any attachments. I personally find very little use for the compound bow, but it doesn't mean it won't fit your playstyle. I would recommend trying it out and just seeing if you like it and if it works for the way you play. Alright, on to the next one. You ever wanted to be a roofer? A nailgun is a popular tool in the roofing industry, and it's popular in Rust, where a naked's head is the roof and you're the roofer. This one isn't as interesting as a compound bow. It's a nail gun. I mean, I don't really think I need to cover this one, but I will. The nail gun is great paired with a bow for the up-close encounters. That's where it really shines. It's a default blueprint, but it requires a level 1 workbench to craft. It costs 75 metal fragments and 15 scrap, and recycles into 10 scrap and 38 metal fragments. It deals 18 damage to the body and 27 total damage to the head with that 1.5 times damage multiplier. The nailgun deals a maximum damage per second of 54 and has an aim cone of 0.75 degrees. It is another low velocity weapon, so its most effective range is up close. Remember when we were talking about the crossbow and roaming with another weapon? This is one of the weapons I'd recommend. The nailgun has a swift draw time of only 0.5 seconds and an okay reload time at 3.1 seconds. Yeah, I know, I said the crossbow had a painfully slow reload time of 3.6 seconds, but I'm saying this reload time is okay. I know, I'm a hypocritical fuck, but the difference is you have a 16 round magazine capacity with this bad boy. Just think of all the heads you can nail. Okay, so this one's a little bit of a touchy subject for me. We have the Eoka. The gun that kills hopes and dreams and makes you realize you're the unluckiest person in the world. This little bad boy will shut down your hopes and dreams no matter what end of the barrel you're on. You try to use it on someone, you smack the thing 10 times before your character just says fuck it and gives up. Someone tries to use it on you, it insta-fires with the wrath of God behind it right into your pretty little dome piece. The Eoka is a great weapon for wood door raids, seriously up-close encounters, and door camping. But not for you, because you're not that lucky. It is a default blueprint and requires no workbench to craft. It costs 75 wood and 30 metal frags of painful disappointment. It recycles into 38 woods and 15 metal frags. That's about the only thing the Eoka makes you happy for. Deals 180 damage to the body with handmade shells and 210 with buckshot. Both shells have a 1.25 headshot multiplier, resulting in a maximum damage of 225 for handmade shells and 263 for buckshot. It shoots 30 rounds per minute, has an aim cone of 2 degrees, a nerve-wracking reload time of 2 seconds, but a quick draw time of 0.5 seconds. On paper, it can easily shoot someone up close, one-shot them, but only the people shooting at you. The Eoka is a weapon you'll use a lot, but only to be a menace in some way. Next up, we have the Waterpipe. The difference between the Waterpipe and the Eoka, besides its looks, really is the fact that the Waterpipe is a reliable gun. What I mean by that is you don't have to smack the thing 10 times to get it to shoot like you do with the Eoka. It's honestly one of my favorite primitive weapons because the amount of times it saved me in fights, I won't lie. When I suck with a bow, I whip this thing out and I bum rush people. It can be used with handmade shotgun shells as well as the normal types of shotgun shells as well. It is not a default blueprint, which makes me very sad on the inside. You can research it for 75 scrap at a research table, or 470 scrap if you go through the level 1 workbench tech tree. It also requires a level 1 workbench to be crafted. It takes 150 wood, 75 metal frags to craft, making it a cheap, low-risk companion alongside a bow. It recycles into 75 wood and 38 metal fragments. It can be found in all the crates listed on screen. The Waterpipe does support attachments. It supports a 16 times scope, 8 times scope, hollow sight, handmade sight, laser, and flashlight. Deals 180 damage to the body with handmade shells and 210 with buckshot, so the same as the Eoka. As with the Eoka, it has a 1.25 multiplier for headshots, resulting in 225 damage for handmade shells and 263 for buckshot. Has a fire rate of 13 rounds per minute, an aim cone of 13 degrees, an amazingly slow reload time of 4.5 seconds, and a draw time of 2.4 seconds. Due to the high reload time, I recommend the Waterpipe be paired with a second weapon, such as a bow. The Waterpipe will honestly never be your main weapon. I find it that it's most useful when I get close enough to someone in a bow fight to rush the other player. Also works great if you're on a team and you have someone to distract. The Waterpipe, in a nutshell, is a reliable Eoka. The double barrel is the next weapon on the list. It's very similar to the Waterpipe and Eoka, so I'm really just going to cover the differences. The damage is the same, but you have 2 shots instead of 1. It is not a default blueprint. It requires 125 scrap, or 595 scrap if you go through the tech tree. Costs 175 metal fragments and 2 pipes to craft. Recycles into 88 metal fragments and 1 pipe. Can be found at all the locations listed on the screen. Has a rate of fire of 120 rounds per minute, a 0.5 degree aim cone, a reload time similar to the time it takes an obese snail to move at a jaw-dropping 5.5 seconds, and a draw time at 1.75 seconds. I know I kind of glossed it over, but honestly, it is an amazing early stage weapon. It's perfect for close quarter encounters, duh. Now you may ask, why would you pick this over a Waterpipe? And really, the answer is kind of simple because it has 2 shots. You can easily take down geared players at point blank, whereas with the water pipe, I mean, there's a chance you might, but it's not a guarantee. Due to how expensive it is, though, I don't really roam with it that often compared to the water pipe. But it's perfect for raid defense, raid offense, and when you need to grub or door camp. Alright, we're almost there. Last one I'm going to cover this episode. The Revolver. My truly beloved. I'd marry this damn thing if I could. When you craft the first revolver of your wipe, it honestly, it just gives you this feeling of accomplishment. It makes you feel like you can do anything you want to. I know I talk about these guns like they're my wife, but honestly, you'll be seeing them more than your actual wife. The Revolver is how you know you made it past Prim. I consider this to be like the first non-primitive weapon, and it is the last tier 1 gun you can research. Has an 8-round capacity, deals moderate damage at 35 to the body with a 2 times headshot multiplier for a headshot damage of 70. It's pretty weak damage-wise, but against bow players, due to the rate of fire, you really won't have any problems. However, it's really not that effective against players that have okay armor or automatic weapons. You can catch them off guard, you might have a chance, but otherwise I wouldn't really count on it. Where it really shines is because of the 8-round capacity and because of its high rate of fire at 343 RPM, making it much more effective against bow players even if you don't have the greatest aim. It costs 75 scrap to research at a research table, or a jaw-dropping 640 total scrap through the level 1 tech tree. It requires a level 1 workbench to craft. Costs 1 pipe, 25 cloth, and 125 metal fragments. It recycles into 13 cloth and 63 metal fragments. Does not allow any sight attachments, but it does allow muzzle attachments. It has a respectable reload time of 3.4 seconds and a draw time of 0.5 seconds, making it a good choice of weapon to roam. This is the first weapon where I can recommend that it's really all you need when you're roaming. Unless you're like me and you choose to carry a bow just because of stealth. Alright guys, this concludes the first episode of the series. The next 2 episodes, I'm going to cover the tier 2 and tier 3 weapons. Then we'll get into base building and crafting. And then I'll circle back around to melee weapons, ammo, and explosives when we get closer to covering raiding. Also, Face Punch, please bring us back.